The fun and not so distant memories of the warm summer sun and lakes area is still fresh in our minds. Just because the temperature has cooled off doesn't mean the housing market has in Lakes Country. And Bryan Buhr, a Lakes area expert and real estate agent at Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices Premier Properties, joins us this morning to talk a little bit about getting serious about building or buying instead of going into hibernation. Just because it's cold doesn't mean we can't still talk about life at the lakes. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah,
so is this still an okay time to talk about, you know, building or buying in Lakes Country?
It is. It's a really good time to talk about building, especially, or buying something to renovate, just because obviously the next 4 months or so aren't going to be the most fun time to be at the lake. It's a good time to really focus on building. So if you're deciding between the two, you kind of just want to look at what you want long term. If you're going to buy a property or build a property that you're going to be in for 30 years, you probably don't want to remodel. You don't want to be held back by an existing property. So if you're going to be there a long time, focus on building. If you maybe have a smaller budget, if you have a skill set to fix something up, you probably want to focus on rehabbing a property.
Well, that's a great question. A lot of people might think, well, do I need to talk to a real estate agent if I want to build versus just buy? But yes, you should.
Yes, you should, absolutely. What's really cool is some of the most reputable builders are what we call realtor friendly. The price of their house is going to be the same whether you're working with an agent or not. So there's really no reason not to have someone on your side, especially if you're going to take a builder from Fargo out to the Lakes Country where they're maybe not there all the time. Having that extra perspective on your end to think about resale, just little things like well and septics and how they should maybe go on your lot, just having that extra set of eyes on your behalf is really, really a good idea.
And you are the perfect person to work with. You grew up in DL and you have built out there as well in Lakes Country.
We have, yep. I was fortunate enough, I worked with a builder in the Lakes area for about 10 years. And we were a company that we did everything. I mean, we did concrete, we did framing. There's the picture. That's our old house. And that was me and my wife, basically nights and weekends. I mean, we did everything there. So I got a really good understanding of how the whole house goes together. We actually sold that one. We're doing it again. We're building again right now. So I do think having that perspective on your behalf to look for things is really, really good thing to have.
Proof that you enjoyed the process if you're going to do it again.
Yeah, can't wait for it to be done.
So what are some things that you should think about if you are living in Fargo but want to build outside? Because that can be a little intimidating to start. To live here, build outside of town.
Right, it can be tricky, and that's, like I said, another reason just to have someone that really represents you. Between Becker and Otter Tail County, there's over 1,500 lakes. Every lake has its own classification, and based on that classification, that determines how close to the water you can build, how much of your lot you can cover. Obviously, I don't have all 1,500 memorized, but I know where to get that information. And then, like I said, extra things, wells and septics. A lot of builders in town don't deal with those all the time. It's nice where I can recommend certain people to them that I know do good work. And then the last thing is, there's really not a lot of inspections out there when you build. You might get through a whole house with just a footing inspection and a simple electrical inspection, where in town there's probably half dozen. So having another set of eyes, someone that's built a house before, to look over the project and just say, hey, yep, everything's going good, just that extra peace of mind is really, really
and someone
key.
who really knows Lakes Country like yourself.
Right, we live out there. And
you live out there,
never
you know
leaving.
it. Great stuff. How do people get a hold of you?
The easiest is by cell, 218-850-2004. Also have a really easy website, www.fmtothelakes.com.
And you can help people live their dream. It's everyone's dream, isn't it, to have a beautiful lake home?
It is. And I mean, honestly, it is. When we're out there, it does feel like we are living our dreams out there. So it's great.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We'll be right back.